maybe you could give a quick intro of what you're all about. And I did want to say I'm super grateful today. Like I've been watching like your YouTube videos already, so I'm super grateful. So anyways, everyone, welcome to the Rise and Shine show. Welcome. I have Lily today, who is an amazing human being. She's given a TED Talk. She helps entrepreneurs, anyone who really wants to bring their vision of their greatest life to fruition. So Lily, could you share with us a little bit about what you do, or maybe elaborate?
I love it. I love it. So I am Lily, and thank you so much for having me. I know this was like something we just connected on. I was like, I like your energy. And then he's like, well, come on to my podcast. Great. So here I am. I have one mission, and one mission only is to encourage people to really, really find out who they truly are and really embrace that. And then what I do is I help people build a business and life that really matters to them, however that looks like, whether if it's a tiny business that is just a really niche group to huge corporations, whatever it is like. So that's what I do. That's what I do, and that's why I do what I do. It's in a nutshell. If you want to get into a little bit more of the technical stuff and like what my background is I come from the corporate world. I spent 12 years of my life in the fashion industry, and I just basically lost passion for it. I wanted a little bit more meaning in my life. And for the first time in my entire life, I actually made a decision from the heart is to start my own business. And since then, and I didn't even know what that business is going to look like. I had an investor, we were just talking earlier, Evan Carmichael, who has a YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers. He asked me if I wanted to go into business with him. We both went in, we just took a giant leap of faith in each other, and we connected, and we didn't even know what the business plan was going to be. Our plan was to make a plan. And that was a year ago. So I started off as a speaker. So as you mentioned, I did do a TED Talk a little while ago. Now I'm more into coaching and consulting. I work with people one-on-one. I also run an online mastermind group as well. So there's a couple of things that I'm doing right now.
That's sensational. And you're also a little bit of a salsa teacher too, eh?
I am.
Yeah.
Do you dance salsa?
I don't, but I would love to learn. I went to Peru once, and they gave us a little dance class, and definitely could use some upgrading in my dance skills. So.
Well, I've taught over 4,000 people how to dance.
Wow.
So I am sure that I could help you out in that area as well.
Absolutely. For anyone who's like a noob for dancing, like what would be like one quick tip, one little mindset that you would give for someone just starting to dance? Feel the rhythm.
Understand that you are going to suck really badly in the beginning.
Perfect.
And also understand the fact that everybody else also sucks in the beginning. And it's okay. It's perfectly okay. So I used to be a dance instructor. I'm no longer doing that. I have retired.
Okay.
At my age. And I taught complete beginner dancers. Every single person that came in had 2 left feet. That's what they called themselves. And I saw them blossom from someone who's awkward and with 2 left feet to these beautiful dancers. And some of them eventually became instructors themselves. So it was a beautiful transformation for me to see. And
wow.
And one of the things that people are always afraid of is that they're afraid that they're going to be really bad. And I just I just dispel all of that. It's you are going to be really bad, and that's okay.
Exactly.
Think about the first time when you started walking as a child. You were probably really bad at it. You didn't say to yourself, well, this walking thing really sucks. I'm just going to give up on it. You kept on going. And eventually now as an adult man, you get up, you walk. It's like nothing. It's second nature. The same thing as dancing.
That is so true. Yeah, that resonates with me quite a bit. Notice that whenever I'm trying something different, it's just whatever, just accept myself as, if it sucks, it sucks. That's cool. It's just enjoying the process a lot more. So do you find you translate a lot of what you learned when you're teaching dancing or when you're dancing yourself over to, you know, your coaching practice? Like,
Yeah.
what are some of those skills that
Oh, of
kind of transferred
course.
over?
Of course. So I taught at Toronto Dance Salsa for 4 years of my life, and we are the biggest in Canada, possibly the biggest in North America as well. We have thousands of students a year. And one of the things that really sets us apart from all the other dance schools is the fact that we focus on the personal development side. We educate, so we have to teach people how to dance because at the end of the day, that's why they're coming in the first place. We also focus on entertainment, so we're really fun, we have jokes and all that stuff. And the last part is really to elevate people. So people come to dance, but they stay for the breakthroughs that they make on the dance floor. And when we say breakthroughs, we mean that, you know, we have people coming in who their spouse just passed away
Mm.
and they're looking to meet new people, or they're looking to kind of heal that heartbreak. Or we have people who are brand new to the country who are looking to make friends. Like what we spoke about earlier before we started
Mhm.
recording is building that community, and true friendships blossom, love relationships start, which is amazing to see for me as well.
Yeah.
So a lot of that transitioned over to my coaching as well, because they're both kind of the same thing. We're transforming lives. One is through dance and the other one is through coaching, but it's similar. Do you find that with your sports, because we mentioned a little bit about your athletic background, how does it translate to what you're doing now?
Yeah, absolutely. For sports, same thing. Like I used to be like a total like gym rat, like spending time in the gym all the time. And I remember growing up, there's kind of two different sides to it. I had both like my creative side, and then I had like my very like more like yang side, you could say, I guess. So um,
Okay. What is a yang? Okay. Can you
uh,
elaborate a
more
little bit?
like very like driven and like goal
Okay.
oriented. Like I'm gonna win this game. Like you know,
What
putting.
kind of sport did you play?
I played basketball,
Okay.
rugby, volleyball, a whole bunch of sports. But
Okay.
uh, yeah, I was very driven in that sense. But I also blended it with like my creative side as well. So like when I was practicing basketball, I would toss in music and go to like the rhythm and just kind of feel the flow of the game and
Mhm.
kind of have fun, get creative, do different kind of stuff, different kind of movements. And then also like the more driven side was like, all right, you know, my brother used to kick my butt all the time, like
Yeah.
10-0 in one-on-one. So I was like, that's not happening anymore. So practiced and just kept that like resiliency. So I would say like resiliency and that drivenness I've carried over into kind of everything else that I've done in life, because I always want to uh, give the most life to the things that I'm creating in the world as well. So kind of
Okay.
blends that creative aspect of just having fun and feeling into the rhythm of whatever my craft is. So
Okay. Nice.
yeah.
And then how do you balance it out? Because I think I heard one of the podcasts, I think it was with Amanda that you talked about. You talked
Mm,
about the feminine and masculine energy. Like, how do you
yeah.
find that balance out in your life?
Yes, that's something I'm actually working on right now. It's been
Okay.
quite a journey, but recently, Qigong has been practice that I've been implementing. So I implement a lot of stuff like yoga or
Mhm.
Qigong, where it's not as, you know, like bodybuilding and stuff like that is very like hard on the body. So try
Mhm.
to get a blend of both of those things with the meditation. I find meditation is probably the middle ground, mindfulness. So
Okay.
yeah, so
Yeah,
that
that's interesting though. In general, that's what I see. I feel like a lot of people want to choose one over the other, but I think the true beauty is to really kind of finding the integration in both. Like that's the
uh,
genius part of it. It's like the and part, be masculine and feminine.
yes, exactly right. When it comes into harmony, yeah, I feel you on that. So one thing that I did do that if anyone's listening, I would definitely encourage them to try it, even just for one day. But it includes dance as well. So I created like a playlist where it's like the
Mm.
first song would be like a meditation one. So you meditate, you know, for 2 minutes, and then it's like really hardcore one where you would grab like a kettlebell or do like push-ups and stuff like that. And then I have one that's like a breath work one. So you just do breath work and then like a yoga one and then just hit shuffle, and whatever comes up, you kind of learn how to flow in those different energies. So
That's actually really cool. Where can people find that?
yes, on my website, tyronemorales.com, I have a Spotify link. So if they click on that link, I have a playlist called Inherent Vitality. It's called the Dance of Elision, which is the heavenly dance. So, and connecting to your inherent
The
vitality.
heavenly dance.
Yeah.
I want to know what the heavenly dance is all about. I've been a dancer for a long time.
Yeah.
I've not heard about the heavenly dance. What does it entail?
Um, Pretty much just what I talked about. I just made it up. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
All right.
But
So
yes,
you do know how to dance.
uh, you could say I know how to dance. Yeah. Just
Okay.
need to refine it a little bit more. So
Okay. All
yeah.
right. Yeah.
But yes, going back to dance and how that, like, those things correlate over. What was like some of the core values that really drove you to facilitate people transforming and seeing those breakthroughs? Like, what what was like a tipping point in your life where it was like, wow, like this is what I value most, like in my life, and this is going to be like the driving focus for my
I
life.
love that you brought that up because that's what I talk about all the time is
Yes,
about core values. You're probably referring to my TED talk that I did about your one word,
exactly.
most likely. Okay.
Yes.
So your one word, for the folks that are watching who's not familiar with this content, is your single most important core value that is defined by you. One of the most important things that we need to do, if it's not already on your priority of, or you haven't done the work yet, is self-awareness. There's no way that we can create the life that we want and be around people that we want unless we knew exactly what we stood for and what is the most important to us. So a lot of my coaching practice in the beginning is a huge chunk of it is just self-awareness, like, because there's so much noise in the media that comes into us, and it's all great. I love social media. I'm on all platforms,
Yeah.
but sometimes we forget if it's even real. Like, are my thoughts actually real, or
Mm.
is it someone else's? So what I do is I walk my clients through the process of finding their one word, or your one word is making a list of everything that makes them happy, and understanding what it is that correlates. Like, what is the connective tissue between all of them? Like, what does basketball have to do with dancing for you? Like, what is that? What is
Yeah.
a common theme? do you have
Creativity.
do you have something, like, do you have a word that you feel like, this is what I value the most? Or
Definitely, like creativity was like a big one. Vitality is probably one of my biggest ones, and
yeah,
same thing with equanimity.
yeah.
I was doing one of your exercises actually. So
Oh, you
for
did?
anyone who's
Okay.
listening, watch Lily's talk. It's amazing, and she delivers so much value. Like, I was just doing the exercise, and
Okay.
within that minute, I was like, whoa, like, yeah, I need to be focusing more on like what are my heaven yeses, and making those
Oh,
connections.
wow.
So
You just, like, I love heaven yes. I
right?
love you. Just anyone who says
Yeah.
heaven yes in my world, like, heaven yes. I know we need to say that
Right?
more often, right? Than saying,
Definitely.
I mean, hell yes is, one of my friends said that. Well, hell is not a bad place either. You could learn a lot.
Hey, that's pretty great perspective.
So, okay. So what are your heaven yeses?
Yeah, my heaven yeses are um, community, um, nobility, leadership, a whole bunch of things. Like, I was doing the exercise. I was trying to do it where you said like, what's like your favorite movie character? What's like your favorite movie? Like, what do all these things have in connection? And like, name the top three. So like when you're talking about the Alchemist, and like the three different character traits of that. So um, for me, yeah, it's kind of a refinement right now, but I would say vitality is the biggest one because it kind of spreads out into everything for me, because it's our power that we have to give life to everything around us, and to also nourish ourselves with that energy as well. So
Wonderful. Well, the next thing, I mean, I think because you already have a lot of self-awareness to begin with, you were able to find your one word right away. For
mhm,
other people, it might take 6 months or a
mhm,
year because they just don't know. And that's okay too. It's a self-discovery is something, it's a journey, and you're going to discover more and more about yourself as you go along. One thing that I would suggest that I didn't actually talk about in my TED Talk is really breaking down vitality for you. Like, what
mhm,
are the three things that it breaks down to? Number one, it gives you more clarity in creating a life that has vitality. And number two is really giving clarity for people around you as well. Because I think one of the first things that I asked you when it came on was, what does vitality even mean? Now, if you had that on your website, you had that all over your social media, then I understand exactly what it means. Because there's a universal meaning of vitality, the dictionary term, and then there's yours, Tyrone's version. Like that becomes your hashtag. That's what it is.
yes,
Like, you are going to label it. What does it mean to you? And becomes your own. And you could really step into your own vitality. And how does that look like for you? So I
mm,
would go through the exercise, and we call it the credo, which is a personal mission statement to living the life you want. And I know you're just getting started into this podcast, and this is an exciting time. You're in the startup phase of your business, which I love.
yeah,
Working with startup entrepreneurs is what I do on a daily basis. And you could start to do that there as well. Like anything from like your logo to your videos to your everything, you could
mm,
flow it through that lens.
mm. Amen to that.
Yeah,
Yes,
I'm very passionate about this. And
yes,
you become vitality, and everyone around you. I got excited and I hit my mic. And everybody around you start to feel more vitality around them. And I think from what I gather from my sense from you, it sounds to me that that's what you want. You want to spread this message. You want to have people have more vitality in their life.
exactly.
Mhm.
Yes, to be able to share that energy with other people, that's exactly what vitality is for
Yeah.
me. So
Yeah.
absolutely. And I also loved how you said everyone has their own personal creed as well, because, my version of vitality is not going to be the same for everyone else's. So I wanted to totally acknowledge you for acknowledging people's uniqueness. So,
Oh yeah.
and I
That's
think,
so important.
right?
That's so important. We don't all need to be like each other at all,
No,
you know?
exactly.
At
No,
all, at all. Like, what a boring world would that be if we were all the same?
right? Yeah, I would be no contrast whatsoever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I did have like one question that I did want to ask you as well in terms
Okay.
of vitality. This was just
Okay.
kind of like a personal one. So,
Oh,
uh,
exciting. Okay.
absolutely. So, what are you giving the most life to in your life? And or most recently, like what do you find that you're giving the most energy to or the most nourishment to in your life? It could be a relationship, it could be a
Okay.
business or anything. So,
I think it's both. I think it's business and relationship. I see an integration between my business and my relationship. 100% of my clients are people. And I develop these very, very deep connections and relationships with them. And I would say that's where I'm putting a lot of my energy and a lot of my vitality into these people. I care about them a great deal. It's interesting because that's the first thing I think about in the morning. It's like, okay, what can I do to make my clients' lives better? And it's not even a client coach kind of relationship. It's more to do with a human relationship. Even people I collaborate with, like you, for example. I was
mhm,
thinking, it's like, how can I make his life better a little bit? What can I do to help his business? So it's
absolutely.
it's it's just it's relationships of people around me, and more specifically, people who are aligned with my values as well,
Mm,
because that's
yeah.
important. And I think it kind of goes back to your one word as well, is it helps you make decisions better, like aligning yourself with people who are like-hearted versus um, creating relationships that might not necessarily be the most, what's the word, nourishing for you, using
Yes.
your word. most nourishing for you.
Love it.
So
Yes.
that's what I'm doing personally. Yeah.
Okay.
And professionally, I guess. I mean, my business and me are we're integrated. I don't see when one ends and the other one starts.
Mm, yes. I love that.
And so
And
what about you? I'm going to put
yeah,
this question back on you. What are you doing?
yes. What am I giving the most life to?
Hmm.
I would say growing uh, this this show where people can really connect and see all around the world, not only from like a local perspective, but also from like a global perspective of vitality, what it looks like in so many different lenses, both from like a cultural, like nutritional, whatever it may be, so that we can thrive as a whole entire community. So I remember going to Indonesia back in 2006, just after the tsunami hit there,
Wow.
and we're helping out in a village there, and building houses, all that kind of stuff. But every night we would go and play soccer with the locals, and every single night there's more of us going to play with the locals. More locals would come and watch, and at the end of the 2 weeks when we were there, one of the translators told us that the locals said that this was like the most sense of like joy, fun, and essentially like vitality, community vitality that they've ever felt since the tsunami. And like these people have like lost family members and just experienced so much. So seeing the power of sport to be able to bring people together, and just community recreation, which is recreating that sense of community, recreating that sense of vitality. That's essentially what I'm giving life to, is any
Yeah.
kind of medium where I can give life to that sense of vitality and recreate that for our society. Because for myself, like I've had a lot of experience where I was going too hard, or I was very scattered and wasn't connected to that sense of vitality. So being out in nature and learning how I could nourish my body just gave me so much energy, and I want to
Yeah.
share that energy with everyone. So I guess that's what I'm giving life to, any kind of medium where I can share that energy with everyone else. So
That's wonderful. So, how did your story begin? Like, what is your foundation story? Because it sounds, this is what I'm sensing from you. I'm sensing that you're very wise and you have a lot of knowledge. And it feels like it's through personal experiences and living a certain life. Like, is there
mm,
something like what I know you mentioned Indonesia going there in the tsunami, like right after the tsunami.
yeah.
Um, is there anything else that kind of brought you here in the first place?
Yes. That's an amazing question. Thank you for asking that. In my personal journey, yes. And thank you for the compliment as well. I'll accept that for sure. Um, a lot of the knowledge that I did have was all like brain knowledge before. Like I would listen to audiobooks and whatnot a whole bunch of the time. And
Mhm.
um, what I found was through self awareness, like what you talk about, so key not only for ourself, but like the message that our life is showing to us outwards. Like there's so many situations where it's like, what is life really trying to tell me here?
Mhm.
And I found from following my heart that I don't know, I've just been led into a miraculous life of experiencing miracles and really embodying um, what what my message is. Because through embodiment, that's um, probably wow. Actually, I just had something come up that was like,
Come out and say it. If something comes
yeah,
up, my whole thing
absolutely.
is if you feel a truth bubbling up, you got to just say it. What is it?
Yes. So this is actually from when I was a kid, and I was reading the Bible, and one of the biggest verses that stood out to me was "Actions speak louder than words." So that has been like one of my foundations for embodying everything that comes up for my heart and what I truly want to share. So that's kind of my foundation, is actions speak louder than words, and also do your best, and God will do the rest. That was like a poster that was in my room when I was growing up, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna give everything that I have and just let go and surrender, and see what happens in the situation as well. So
I love that. And do you feel like you said yes a lot more to different kinds of opportunities? I mean, going to Indonesia in, when was it, 2008, 2006?
2006, yeah.
So
Yeah.
you must have been 10.
Trying to think. I was about 16. Yeah.
I was giving you a compliment.
Oh, I figured, but
Oh, you were 16. Okay, so you're
yeah.
very okay. You're a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, I was
I
I
appreciate
was well in my 20s when that happened.
it. Well,
Oh, so
you
you
look
were
like you're
only
still in your
16.
20s, so it's
Yes, but
beautiful.
I do enjoy being. I do love being 33. I'm 33 years old, and I love being 33. So I like to make
Yeah.
jokes a lot about people who are younger than me. But the reality is, I think every age is a great age as long as you're nourishing yourself and living a life full
Yeah.
of vitality. Like I'm only going to get younger. I feel younger now than I
Yeah.
did when I was 20, to be honest.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Legit. Yeah. I even feel younger like than 2 years ago when I was in a like stagnant place, it felt like. But even my grandma, she's like 100 years old, and she's like,
Your grandmother's 100 years old.
yeah, I had a great grandma who's 100 years old. I think my grandma
Um,
right now is about like 80 or 90, and she is just thriving. Like, I mean, yeah, vitality itself. So,
What do you think that is? Like, what do you feel like someone like your grandmother, for example, or your great grandmother? What do you think is that keeps them young?
yeah, I think they do things that that nourish them. Like, I mean, from my experience, it's been a lot of people. Like with my grandma, she loves to go on walks. She loves to go into church and be with that community. She loves to eat healthy foods as well. But yeah, I think it's, I don't know. It seems like, all those people that I see, they give life to things around them, and it just kind of comes back
Mm.
to them. So I think, yeah, I'm not sure. What do you think? What do you think that
Well, I don't really have an answer, to be honest. That's why I was asking you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But I have met a couple of older people in my life. Actually, I met this woman at a church that I was speaking at just a couple of weeks ago in New Jersey. And she's in her 80s and she still has a growth mindset. She's still continuing to learn. She looks so young, and she's moving around like she's 60,
Yeah.
it comes down to having a growth mindset and constantly learning and having a student's mentality. I think, this is my opinion, the moment that we stop learning is the moment that there's really no point in living anymore. I think
Mm,
everything is a learning experience. I am wiser now than I was even 5 seconds ago by just having a conversation with you.
nice.
We're constantly changing, and I think accepting that we're always changing, that kind of makes us younger. Like, not that younger is even an important thing either. It's just, it keeps
Mhm.
us youthful, and not that, what I don't know
Yeah.
what word is I'm using, because
Yeah.
it's not wrong to get older either, and
Yeah.
it's not always a good thing to be 12.
Exactly.
I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyway,
Well,
you get my point.
I do. I do. I read a book recently that talked about this actually. I'll send it to you afterwards, but
Yeah.
it was about how we view age from like a cultural lens actually in
Mhm.
North America, and how it compares to how we view growing older in like different places as well. So definitely send that over to you later. But I would love to do a quick lightning round with you here.
Oh my
Got a
gosh,
few
I'm
questions.
nervous. I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I don't like those lightning rounds. Okay, I'm not very good. I'm not quick on my feet. Okay.
Yeah, this is perfect then.
Okay.
Growing. So, what are you most grateful for?
In life? Oh no, this
Yeah,
is supposed to be a lightning round.
yeah.
Myself.
Yourself?
Yes.
Right on. All right. What's your favorite kind of dessert?
Cheesecake.
Cheesecake.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm loving that. All right. Favorite thing to do in the morning?
Meditate.
Meditate. Okay. All right. One place that you would love to travel to right now?
Brazil.
Oh, nice. Dancing teacher. Yeah, I should have known that.
Makes sense. Rainforest.
Absolutely. And what's lighting you up the most today?
Connecting with people. connecting with you. I had a great connection earlier, just connecting with people. And it's amazing. I know this is supposed to be a lightning round, but it's amazing that we're even able to do that, because I'm in Toronto and you're in Calgary, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's amazing that we could even do this. And it always fascinates me that I'm able to do this.
Amazing. Right on. Well, one last question is, and this isn't part of the lightning question, but this is kind of for anyone who is watching the video. What is one thing that you would love to leave them with? One message or even one challenge or practice that they could take home today and implement into their life to bring their vision to fruition and get connected to the values that you're talking about,
I
or
love
anything that you feel called to share. So,
yeah, I want people to take action.
mm,
That's what I really want. I think it's amazing to consume a lot of knowledge, have a lot of theory. That's all very important. But I think in order to grow and actually go out there and find happiness for yourself is through action.
mm,
And I created this thing called the 24-hour mission in my coaching practice. And what I do is I go through the self-awareness piece and I find out what it is that people really want out of their life. And I take it, I chunk it down to the first 24 hours. What is it that you can do in the next 24 hours to really start on your journey in creating that life?
mm,
And usually I like a challenge that's a little bit scary, because I think when we do something a little bit scary for us, we sort of build this identity that I'm someone who does scary things and I'm capable of way, way bigger things. And this is just like a small thing in front of me. So the 24-hour mission. So anybody who's watching, if there's something you've always wanted to do, find a way to start right now in the next 24 hours. So
mm,
whatever time it is you're watching, exactly 24 hours from now, just complete that mission fully. And you're going to
mm,
see how great people feel. In my practice, I have seen tremendous growth from this, because they're
mm.
like, wow, like something as silly as maybe doing a YouTube live, which to me seems silly, but it's actually really scary for a lot of people. It's,
Yes.
it's, it's very vulnerable to put yourself out there. So I get people to do it right away. And then after they do it, they think, wow, I can do this. Think about what else I can do.
Yes.
So
Right.
there's so many things. Just we're far more capable to do crazy things and scary things and just really go all in our hearts. And I think most people are afraid because we have fears that are not even real. So take action. That's
Yes.
my takeaway from today.
All right. I love that. And
Mhm.
I mean, you with the YouTube thing, you used to do that with the Snapchat, right? You used to just take
Yeah,
the Snapchat stories and stuff three
it
times
was
a
so
day.
scary. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I remember the first time I did it a couple of years ago. It was just the most uncomfortable thing in the world. Now I'm always in front of the camera, and I
Yeah.
still get nervous. And don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, it's nothing. It still makes me nervous. And also the idea behind everything that I do is I always try to make it better somehow.
I
How
love
can I
that.
deliver more value? Because the practice is good, but also it's how can you get better? It's going back to the growth mindset.
Exactly. Amazing, Lily. Thank you so much. Totally appreciate your presence today and what you've shared with everyone and for me. And I appreciate everyone who's watching for joining us on like this journey, which is a collective journey that we're all on. So we can all take some action today, given by the wise words of Lily for sure, and wise experience as well too. So
Thank you. Thank you.
absolutely.
I
So
really appreciate this. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you. So, what is the best way for people to connect with
Sure.
you?
I have a YouTube channel called Lily Ma. I also have a bi-weekly series on Evan Carmichael's channel called Unlocking Lily. So every other Friday, I have an episode coming out. I actually have an episode coming out tomorrow. And what else? Instagram, it's Lily Ma. Facebook, I'm Lily Ma. I am available all across the board. So if anybody wants to connect with me, it's as simple as just sending me a message. Um, no need to worry about being so formal with me. I'm very
Yeah,
connected, and I'm always here. I'm always here for anybody who requires any kind of help.
Amazing. And it definitely shines out. So like Lily has been amazing, supporting me as well, just in this phase of where I am as well. So
Yeah.
for anyone who has even a little bit of itch to take that action and really bring that fruition of what they want to create in the world, Lily is amazing for that. Whether you're an entrepreneur or whatever it may be.
Or
Check out
dancing.
Lily. Or dancing,
Dancing.
exactly. See?
Dancing.
Yeah.
Well, I'm retired, but I may come out of retirement.
Please do.
I don't know how we're gonna make this happen though, because you're in
Yeah.
Calgary, I'm in Toronto.
Yeah. We're gonna
Could
have to
be
do a
a
live
Skype,
dance.
a Skype session, a Skype dance or Zoom dance.
A Zoom dance. I'm cool with that. A little bit of Zumba, that too. All right. Right on, Lily. Well, thank you very much, and bless everyone who is watching today. May you all take action in what lights your heart up the most and feel nourished and live a life full of vitality.
Wonderful. Thank you so much,
Right on.
Tyrone. I appreciate
Thanks,
this.
everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Much love, everyone. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this and you feel even a little bit revitalized after watching this, then hit the like button and subscribe. I really appreciate you guys and I appreciate your support. So thank you very much. And if you have your own vitality journey that you would love to share, or if you would love to join a community of people who are on their own vitality journey, then hit the link in the description below to my website, tyronemorales.com, and join a tribe of vitality superstars. Thanks again, guys, for watching, and have a day full of vitality. Much love.